Sirin Alian. And Sirin Alian is one of many teachers from Gaza in Palestine who has joined my course. So I always welcome people from Gaza, from teachers. And she's telling a story of Saraya and Zarif Al Toul and the Ghoul. There are many Ghoul stories told in Palestine. And also Zarif Al Toul features in many stories. He's a poet, a storyteller, and very, very noble.
Hello, David. Hello, everyone. It's nice to have you all today. My name is Sirin Alian. I am a teacher of English. I live in Palestine. Today, I'm going to tell you a Palestinian folk tale. This story is called Saraya and Zarif Al Toul. Once upon a time, in the most beautiful Palestinian city, Haifa, there lived a pretty and smart girl who was called Saraya. Saraya has a long hair. Her hair was like a night sky. Her face was beautiful. The moon in the August night. All of people in Haifa loved Saraya, and she loved them all, but she loved the sea more than anything else. She walked on the beach every day, and she used to tell her secrets to its waves. And one day, when Saraya was walking on the beach, she heard a frightening voice. "Ooh, Saraya!" Saraya was afraid. She looked everywhere, but she saw no one. But the sound came again. "Ooh, Saraya!" Saraya was afraid and said, "Who are you, and what do you want from me?" Saraya asked, "I'm the sea ghoul. Don't be afraid of me, Saraya. I fell in love with you from the first time I saw you. Will you marry me, Saraya? I will make you the queen of the seas. I will make you the queen of the Ghoul's kingdom." The Ghoul asked, "Oh, but I promised myself to marry only the one my heart loves," Saraya answered. But the Ghoul didn't give up. He came back the day after, and the day after, and the day after. But he had the same question and the same answer. He realized that he must do something. So he went and built a castle over the Mount Carmel, on the top of the Mount Carmel, with no doors, no windows, but he kept an opening. He knew how much Saraya loved the sea, so he kept the opening overlooking the sea and Haifa. He didn't want to deprive her of the sea. And one day, when Saraya was walking on the beach, the sea ghoul came and kidnapped her, put her in the castle. He went down and closed the doors, closed the entrance, closed everything. But before he left, he promised Saraya to visit her every day in the evening. And indeed, the next day in the evening, the ghoul came and he stood under the opening and called for Saraya. "Ooh, ooh, Saraya! Ooh, beloved of the ghoul! Let down your long, beautiful hair!" Saraya let down her hair. The ghoul held it and climbed up, over and over till he reached the opening. And when he entered, he had a big basket in his hand. He brought some pretty clothes for Saraya, some sweets and some food. And he had the same question. Will you marry me? But the same answer was given. I promised myself to marry only the one my heart loves. At that time, there was a young handsome man, was called Zarif Al Toul. He was a storyteller from Zinat. Zarif Al Toul felt that the people of Zinat missed their interest in his tales, so he decided to move to a big city, Haifa, in order to tell his tales and look for his livelihood. And the next day in the morning, he took his things and moved towards Haifa. While he was walking, he passed a forest and he heard a sound. He entered the forest, following the sound till he reached the castle. At that moment, Saraya was standing at the opening. She missed her family, so she was crying and singing. Oh, look what happened to me. The ghoul kidnapped me, and I have no lover to help me. Zarif Al Toul made sure that this voice came from this castle, but he was confused because there were no doors, no windows. Zarif Al Toul was tired and asleep. He fell asleep under a huge tree, and he woke up hearing frightening footsteps. He woke up and hid behind a tree, and he saw the sea ghoul was coming out of the sea and walking toward the castle. He stood there and called for Saraya. Woo! Saraya, beloved of the ghoul, let down your long and beautiful hair. And Zarif Al Toul saw the prettiest, longest hair descending from the castle. The ghoul held the hair and climbed up, over and over till he had never seen any more. Zarif Al Toul waited and waited and waited for the ghoul to come down, but he didn't. So he fell asleep under the tree, and he woke up next day when the sun was rising, and he saw the ghoul was coming down from the castle. He made sure that the ghoul had gone deep in the sea. Then Zarif Al Toul walked towards the castle. He stood there and called, Oh, Saraya, oh, beloved of the ghoul, let down your long and beautiful hair. No one answered. He called again, but no one responded. I was dreaming, as it seems, Zarif Al Toul thought, but he decided to call for the last time in his loudest voice. And he saw the same hair descending from the castle. He held it and climbed over and over till he reached the opening, and he saw the prettiest girl he had ever seen in his life. Oh, who are you? What are you doing here? Saraya asked. I'm Zarif Al Toul. I'm a storyteller from Zinat. Zarif Al Toul answered. Oh, can you tell me a story? And what will you give me in return? I will dance a nice dance to every tale you tell me. They agreed and started telling stories and dancing, forgetting about the ghoul, and they didn't realize that it was the evening already, till they heard The frightening voice of the Ghoul was calling for Saraya. Saraya was frightened, but she had no choice. What could she do? So she laid down her hair, and the Ghoul came up and saw Zarif Al Toul. He was so angry, his eyes were burning, and he said, "Oh, oh, Saraya, I gave you my money, I gave you my love, and I offered you to be the queen of the Ghoul's kingdom, and what did you do in return? You betrayed me!" Saraya cried, she was so frightened. She cried and said, "No, I didn't betray you. I told you from the beginning that my heart will choose. I didn't betray you." The Ghoul was jealous and angry, and he said, "I will kill you, and I will kill him." Saraya cried and said, "No, please, don't kill him. Keep him alive." "Oh, okay, I agree to marry you, and I agree to live with you, to reside with you deep in the sea, but please don't kill him." And because the Ghoul was in love with Saraya, and lovers are tolerant, he didn't kill Zarif Al Toul, but he took Saraya and ran quickly till he reached the sea, and he swam deep in the sea. Zarif Al Toul didn't know what to do. It was so dangerous to jump from the high castle, but he had no choice, so he jumped from the castle and ran quickly till he reached the sea, and he swam under the sea quickly, looking for Saraya everywhere. And he saw a cave. He hid behind a huge rock, and he saw the Ghoul was coming out from that cave. The Ghoul went to invite the Ghouls of his kingdom to come and attend his wedding party. Zarif Al Toul swam quickly and entered the cave. He rescued Saraya, he took Saraya. They swam quickly, but suddenly the sea was stormy and the waves were so dangerous. They realized that the Ghoul had discovered that Saraya had escaped, and he was so angry. Saraya sang beautifully to the waves, so the waves became calm, and Saraya and Zarif Al Toul could swim safely till they reached the shore. And they went in a hurry to the city, Haifa. Saraya met her family and everyone in the village, and Zarif Al Toul told them what happened with Saraya. All of the people in Haifa thanked Zarif Al Toul because he rescued Saraya. Zarif Al Toul asked to marry Saraya, and Saraya agreed. They got married, and they lived happily ever after.